Good day everyone, Michael here. In this video we're going to talk about the differences between inoculants versus fertilizers. In farming, we're going to use both of these a lot, and there's much variation in how we can brew or create different kinds of inoculants and fertilizers. They can even be used together, but it is important to recognize that there are differences. They are not the same thing, and we're going to go over the quick basics of what they are and what their purpose is. So first, the inoculant. The inoculant's purpose is to put massive amounts of life into your soil system, okay? Your fertilizer's goal is to feed the soil system, okay? So with the inoculant, we're putting big populations of life in the soil. With the fertilizer, we're feeding those populations, okay? So in the inoculant, we're going to have big populations of microbes. That is the one thing that separates the inoculants versus the fertilizers. It's the main difference. The fertilizer will have microbes in it, but it's not really an inoculant because the construction and development of the fertilizer is such that we're getting the mineral content out of whatever we're putting in for our feedstock. So if we've got a big barrel of rotting fish, for example, we're going to use that fish for its high nitrogen and amino acid content. We're not going to use the rotting fish as an inoculant, as an example. The inoculants have a low mineral content, as opposed to the fertilizers, which have a high mineral content. And that's going to affect the concentrations in which you use inoculants and fertilizers, and something to be aware of if you combine the two. The next is that when we're making our inoculants, we're following formulas and we're looking to produce repeatable results every single time. We want to refine our techniques to get our inoculants down so that we can brew up an inoculant in a day and a half, know that we've got something excellent, and be able to use that right away and to do it over and over and over again. Our fertilizer is a little bit of a different situation where we build our fertilizer slowly over time, increasing in richness. And we're only taking very, very, very small amounts of fertilizer to use at any particular time. Fertilizers are highly customizable. You can basically make any kind of fertilizer you want because the fertilizer really is all about the mineral content. So you can get very creative with the types of materials that you're putting in your fertilizer in order to get a great return. Now, the next thing to understand is that when you're using an inoculant, generally speaking, it's pretty low risk, okay? Because it's full of life, it's kind of hard to do a lot of damage to a soil system, especially if it's outside. However, you can do a lot of damage to a soil system if you use too strong of a fertilizer. And I just want to highlight that because it is important not to go crazy with this stuff. I know this is just the beginning, the basics, and we're going to go into more detail about all of this, but I just wanted to highlight the differences between inoculants and fertilizers. The major difference is, with inoculants, we're looking for big populations of life to add to our soil system, and with the fertilizers, we're looking for high mineral content solution to feed the microbes in our living soil system.